Welcome to ET 641. The purpose of this screencast is to provide you with a quick overview for our online textbook. So right now I am in our Moodle page, and I'm going to click on Link to Textbook, and you will see that a new window opens. And our textbook is Universal Design for Learning, Theory, and Practice by David Rose, Ann Meyer, and David Gordon. The first thing you're going to need to do is create an account. Now, I already have an account, so I have my username and password filled in already, so I'm just going to click sign in, but you will need to go ahead and create an account because you will be logging into this every week as we're doing the reading. So initially you're dropped into the table of contents. You can see that there's 7 different chapters, and you can see that these arrows will maximize the different subheadings, so you can see what within each chapter what it looks like. It also shows you check marks next to what you've read or perhaps not read. When you click on chapter 1, it will take you to the actual start of the chapter, and it looks consistent throughout each chapter with videos are always on this left-hand side. The main or primary text is always in the center, and you'll see that there are different boxes. Typically they have quotes, or later on in some of the other pages, those boxes will have different graphics or images. Like this is an example of a figure just about the Gateway story. So again, you'll see left is showing you all the video clips, center is the text, and then the right is just different images that you may or may not want to maximize. A couple things to say about the videos. Whether or not you want to click and watch each one is totally up to you. When you do click it, it opens it in a new window, and it will have closed captioning. Most of the videos are no more than 1 or 2 minutes long, so I would recommend that you watch the majority of them. Certainly you don't have to watch every single one of them, though, if you don't find them to be very helpful. I will say that in chapter 2 under expert learning, there's a really neat video of this young boy doing speed cubing, which is solving a Rubik's Cube, and he solves it in a couple seconds long, and it's a really neat video. So again, that's one that you may want to watch. But each chapter has its own set of video clips, its own text. And then the other feature that I want to point out to you, and I'll just stay on chapter 2 right now, is that you can highlight any of the text that you want. If you want to do it in yellow, you just click it and it'll highlight it. You can also change the colors to blue or green, and you can erase the highlights. Something else that's a really good feature of this online text is the glossary, and so it works 2 ways. The first way is that if there is a word that you're not sure of, so for example, this is talking about strategic and goal-directed learning, you can click strategic, and you'll know that it's in the glossary by the fact that it's underlined with these dots. And over on the right, the definition will come up for you. You can get into the glossary by clicking more in glossary, or you can also just look at the glossary in its entirety by clicking right there. So for example, affective is one of the words we're going to talk a lot about, and here's a definition for it. And again, it kind of gives you these images that go with it. I think a couple of the glossary words are also linked to different videos. So all of the words that you're going to need to know are linked in the glossary. And whether or not you want to add them into your own notebook or write notes for yourself in your notebook is totally up to you, but here's how you do it. I just clicked notebook here. You can use the pencil here to write something. You can draw something if you want to. You can add your own images, or you can add your own text if you want to upload something. And then the last feature is to put in a table. So you can certainly add notes as you desire. It's not something that you have to do. I'll leave that up to you if you would like to do it. And then I guess the last thing that I would probably just like to point out is that to turn the pages, you just click these arrows. You'll see they're in the upper right here, or on some of the pages that are longer down here. Now, each of the chapters will end with a conclusion and some different endnotes. So while it looks like you may be reading a lot of pages each week, That's not necessarily the case because there's usually a couple pages of notes. The conclusion in each chapter is pretty important. I would say you should definitely make sure you understand it, make sure you know what the glossary or vocabulary words are. You can also click on these to open an area to reflect and an area to make some comments, and you can also see that there are comments displayed by other people, so you certainly can look at them and see what other people have had to say about it. Most of the commenting you'll do, though, will be in your reflective journal, and the same with reflection, so you don't have to use these features, but I just do want to let you know that they're there.